Time for another garden tour to show how things are going. Yes, we pretty much have everything planted, and we're going at it. So we'll go down the rows here and show you what's popping up and what's not popping up. Here we have the Swiss chard down there, just starting. Tomato plant. This is a bunch of stuff. It looks like a whole bunch of cucumbers, I think. I'm gonna have to transplant some of those into some empty spaces once they get bigger. Another tomato. I'm gonna have to start putting the tomato cages up. And here's another one of Swiss chard. That one looks like it's doing pretty darn good down there. And another tomato. This I'm gonna have to remove the top of, I'm afraid. It's banging right up against it. But I think those are, I think those are my cucumber plants, as are these. And that's a very stunted looking pepper plant. I don't know how well they're doing. We'll see when the temperatures come up. I think that's a squash, and that's one of the cabbages. I think that's a squash too. I think that is too. Here's a bunch of bean plants, bush beans. Have come up rather well. And I think these are either cucumber or squash plants. 2 tomatoes. Here's some space to put stuff in. Let's go down this row here. Trombosino. Yeah. Tomato, tomato. This could be another squash plant. It's 2 things to be picked. But I'm betting that's probably a squash. Another stunted pepper plant. Peppers don't look like they're doing great yet. They really don't. Maybe they'll. I think last year they looked this way too, and then they took off at some point. I think the heat did it. A hot heat. There's a Brussels sprout. That does look like a somewhat stunted tomato. We've got some bigger ones around, that's for sure. Cabbage, pepper, even got a little bloom on it. Look at that. And more Swiss chard. We love Swiss chard. And this is a whole bunch of beans, bush beans, in what's the last row. And I'm gonna have to figure something out here to do something about this, because it's outgrowing this. Hopefully the critters won't get in here. All right, more of the same. You know, there's two of the Brussels sprouts and a tomato. Space. Brussels sprouts. I think these are cucumbers. More space. So, and down here, I think I did plant some. Yeah, I did. I can see them in there, but more bush beans. So now you're gonna notice that there's a whole part of the garden not even planted here. Actually, I do something to plant. First, look at this. I haven't had roses in forever. This plant just decided to come alive this year. I didn't do anything. I have a bee buzzing my ear. Hi, bee. No. It's a bumblebee. He's buzzing around for some reason. Okay, so notice, if I take a long view here, how much of my garden I stopped using. A lot. Better than half of it. Moved everything, crowded it over here into this area. And the rest of it isn't getting used. I could close off half of this easily, and then just use this part that's in the sun limited parts of the day. So that's how that's looking. We'll see if I can maybe hire my buddy to do that, and then he might have to help me, to rip all the stuff off the top, smooth it all out, and put grass on it and become part of the yard. That's what I have to do. And you can see where I excavated here too to get a lot of soil. You see it down there? So if I go to smoothing all this out, I'm gonna have to take where you see these mounds and put them into that and smooth everything out and rip out all as much of this stuff here as I can. I may not end up doing any of that. And I gotta fill this up, I think. I've got to be putting on some Miracle-Gro plant food shortly. And oh yeah, this doesn't look as pretty as all. What happened to it? Oh, they all went away. There was white flowers all over this, and it turns out it's a rambling rose. And I don't know if there's going to be more, but it was a blooming rambling rose right here. Is what that bush is right there. And out here, what do we got? That's all done too. These are all irises. Whenever I get too many irises, I'd put them up out here, and they just growing like crazy. So look at the tree over here. It's looking nice too. I do have on this apple tree while I'm here, we did set apples, and I can see that in fact there are apples. I don't know if I can get those. There's a couple there. Yeah, there's another one there, but there's bunches of them. There's bunches of apples that have been set and are going to grow eventually and give me a crop of apples. We'll see how good it all pans out. You never know. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. That's for sure. So anyway, that's what it's looking like. Pretty barren at the dark half of the garden. And as you can see, I mean, it's what, 4 o'clock now? Is it 4 o'clock? Let me see. It's 4:30, and you can see there's shade here. It's mostly drawn back, but this tree really overhangs badly. Well, let's go see the rest of the garden here. Here's some stuff Judy's put out, some petunias, and something else that she planted. I don't forget what these are. She says they're gonna grow down and look gorgeous. We'll see. You'll see if you keep watching these videos. And over here is the garden part 2, where it gets the most sunlight. And that blew off there, that screen. It's supposed to be up around the beans here, because I know the critters love beans, so I'll just stick it up there. So there's more beans down here. This soil isn't that great. I have to add more to this and fluff it up. But once I add it up, it can't be moved. That's the problem. And it won't move. So anyway, I think there's some squash growing in that little pot there. This is beans. More Swiss chard. We want our Swiss chard. There's some more in there too, but not as many as there should be. Got a lot of weeding to do out here tonight. But yeah, there's an assortment of cabbage, tomatoes, Swiss chard, squash, and everything growing out here at the moment, looking pretty good. And a lot of weeds I got to pull out. A lot of weeds. And a lot of spare plants I can see are now finally popping up thanks to the heat and the rain. So I will move some of those around. I may move them back into that garden and just stick them in someplace and let them grow and see if they grow and how far they grow. But anyway, that's a lot of what's growing here. It's I'm happy. And over here, these are plants that I put in last summer and they never came up. This year they're coming up. These are Mirabilis, or Japanese wonder plants. And I'm growing some other ones as well. Last year I grew a bunch of them in a pot. I'll show you where those went, because they're coming up too. That's the L11 hosta. I could chop that into pieces pretty easy. I've ripped out a lot of the stuff here from what you saw in the last video. So this reed grass and some other things have been ripped out, but it's looking reasonably good. I got to put down mulch. I still got work to do, but it's looking better. I would like to pull out over here a little bit and I'll show you. And I think over here, yeah, this is Japanese wonder plants also growing up here. I want them to get established. So we did get some of these peonies. They've gone by. And right here, this is where I've got to do the most weeding right here. I got to weed this down to a tighter circle, so I don't want to button up against the cement or pavement here. And going back that far, I want a tight little circle of this stuff. So we'll see about getting that done. And I probably could even take more of that reed grass out, but we'll see if I bother with that. So I have put in all of the, as you can see, the bark mulch here, and it's looking nice up and down the row here. It's the other hosta, the two big ones. I could have chopped this one up too. That's the peony. I don't know what that stuff is. Judy probably does, and a couple of other smaller plants. I don't know what any of this is. I think that's lavender. And I'm not sure what this is. I know this is tickweed. I should look these up with my phone. When they're in bloom, it'll tell me what things are with the Google Eyes. So this bush, I need to chop the bottoms off. I need to chop all the bottom branches off so I can get underneath it easier. The rhododendron, it was beautiful. Didn't seem like it had as many bees. It's all gone by now. And anyway, this is the grassy area I created. As you may be able to see, we've just had a the walkway and the driveway seal coated, which I do once every couple of years. So it's pretty much the walk around the house. Sorry about my cough, it's just a tickle in my throat. I don't have a cold or anything, I just constantly get a tickling throat. Another mirabilis. This is the original one that comes up huge and yellow. You have to take the tubers out for the winter and save them and put them back in. That's how you keep them going. So I planted some more in a pot and they are coming up, and I will have some more tubers. I might even give some of those away over to my next door neighbor here who's into planting. There's some of the stuff I have to put down yet. I may have to buy more. There's 4 bags of mulch there to put out front. And out here eventually I will, this is the toughest job there is if I even do it. It's gotten to be quite a bit to do for my back and such. But I used to weed out a lot of this and put down mulch, and I'd have the mulch going all the way around here on the edge. Judy's been putting rocks to kind of define the edge better. All these solar lights don't work. They're the dollar things. You buy them for $1. They work for 1 summer. That's it. Good luck getting them to work again. I've tried to fix them. They don't work. So you have to buy all new ones. And that's what Mother Nature does to electronic stuff. You know, it's just the way it is. So that's what the backyard looks like, and I think that pretty much completes it. I want to grow some morning glories. I used to have what I call the wall of glory out in the driveway. I don't think it's working out this summer. And I'll try planting some seeds, and I have something for them to grow on here, and then it's going to be, what do I have them grow up? Where do I have them grow up? I'm going to be thinking about that as to where I can have them grow up. That's going to be the thing. All right, time for me to water. So I guess that will end this video at about, not too bad, 14 minutes.